Ooh, what's up guys? Welcome back to an episode of SkyWars. I apologize if I'm like terrible at Minecraft in this episode. It's been like a while since I have consistently played Minecraft. A few weeks, maybe even like a month. I'm not quite sure. It's been quite a bit. I'm also getting used to a new sensitivity because I recently bought like a much larger mouse pad. I went from a 12.5-inch wide mouse pad to an 18-inch wide mouse pad, so I lowered my sensitivity a lot to compensate, try to get more precise aim. And while I did get used to like the beginning of it, that was laggy. While I did get used to the beginning of it pretty quickly, I'm still not that great at doing like really large flicks, like 90 degrees or like 180 degrees. Those are not the best. When I started out like playing on this sensitivity, by the way, I literally had wrist pains because I would try to wrist aim like. All right, hold up. I have like no armor, so I need a full pot on this dude. Ah, all right, got him. All right, yeah, but like when I started with the sensitivity, I was literally getting wrist pains, even though I was like raising the sensitivity a little bit above what I have it right now, which is 800 DPI and 47%. If you guys want to know, because I was trying to like wrist aim to do 90s, and it was like moving at like 4-5 inches with just your wrist. Bad idea. Don't do that. Very bad for your wrists. I felt like I was developing carpal tunnel just from that, but yeah. Now it's a little bit better. I'm more used to arm aiming for like large flicks. Goodbye. Alright, there's one more person left in the game. I'm not quite sure where they are. I think that's my frog head. I think I placed that. Which means I get the frog powers. Okay. So I can't lose. No, I'm just gonna discreetly cut to when I actually find this person. Aha! That was convenient. Nah, die. But as for the main reason why I haven't been, like, recording the game or playing it at all recently, it's just been because of, like, school. Ever since, like, the last episode that I recorded, which was around, like, a month ago, I want to say, nothing school-related has gone to plan. And I think the best way to exemplify this was a project that I had to take in my Earth Sciences class. And if you're wondering why I'm taking Earth Sciences when I literally could not care any less about what soil does in its free time, it's because I needed another science credit, and I really did not want to take, like... I heard that AP Physics was really difficult, but I also heard that... Okay. This dude's, like, actually good. He, like, dunked me in lava and stuff. This dude, on the other hand, is awful at this game. He stole my kill and then died anyway. Alright, well, I have, like, literally nothing. That's fun. Oh, fell all the way down there? And you're still bad at this game? You're notes and you fell off like that. Okay. I don't believe anyone who says that they're good based on their ranked SkyWars results anymore. I'm just gonna go over here and move on. So yeah, as I was saying, Earth Sciences class, I have to take it, and whatever, that's just how it is. And there was this one, project that we had to do in class that was basically like trying to prove some light law, and we would use it to like set up into our astronomy unit. What? Oh, and of course you're here. Okay, well I'm gonna leave. Goodbye. Alright, I've got all of this nifty stuff. Oh, okay then. So, in this Earth Science class, we have this, like, in-class project that I have to do, and what it is basically just, like, it's about light brightness and distance and how they relate, and it's going to set up into the astronomy unit that we're going to have right after the lab, and all should have been hunky-dory. And it was a pretty simple lab in concept, you know, it shouldn't have been that difficult to do. Okay, my aim just left the building for a second. Luckily, this person's aim also left the building, so it works out. Okay, don't... Wait, no, I can't even make a stronger sword. Just gonna stab you while I remember how to commentate. Alright, so where was I? Ah, yes, the project. So, in premise, the project should have been pretty simple. All we really had to do was just, we'd set up a circuit board, and it would, like, activate a light, and then we would point this instrument that would, like, detect how bright the light was over different distances, maybe I think around 10 to 12, and we would and then we would like plot that on like some graph, and then yippee, we get a law about light, I guess. I don't know. This is like very vague recollections about a class I don't care about. Sue me. You got pants. Well, I do, but I'm not going to give it to him. Hello. Both these players are rather high star, and I'd rather not deal with... Alright then. So yeah, as I was saying, it should have been like a pretty simple lab to set up, but as you know me, it wasn't going to pan out. I'm like the unluckiest person ever. So once we get into this lab, and we have 1 day to do like the setup for the lab and then all the data collection, which is around like an hour and a half. So first thing I've noticed is that, once we sit down and like try to do the setup, none of us remember how to actually do anything with circuit boards or breadboards or, Arduino computers, like that stuff. Because apparently all of us did really poorly in engineering, or we just like retained no information from engineering, which is fair. It was like around 3 years ago. It was the last time I took engineering. So yeah, not exactly ideal. So it took like 30 minutes just to set this thing up, which is like a third of our time. And then, so after all of this, we're like, okay, fine. We got the thing set up. We can start doing our data collection. So we take the instrument and we measure it across like the 10 to 12, whatever distances. And this takes ages, by the way. I don't know why it took so long, but it did. And I really wasn't about it. It took way too long, like maybe like another like 45 minutes. And after all of that, we look at the instructions again to make sure that we did everything correctly. And as it turns out, our little device was at the wrong setting. So it gave us the wrong numbers. So we had to do the entire thing over again. I'm like, okay, fine. So we reset it to what it was supposed to be, like the proper value or whatever. And for some reason, it wasn't working at first. But like eventually we fiddled around with it and it started, collecting data properly. 5 minutes into that, the thing dies. Apparently it started off class with like a 15% charge or something, and it just promptly died right when we got it working again. So we were kind of screwed now because we couldn't do data collection. So I was in a great mood by that point, But it basically seemed like we couldn't really do anything at that point. But as it turns out, there was another way. We just had to, forfeit like one of our club periods that we have like once every other day to visit office hours for the earth science class, and then we could like do the data collection in there. And fine. I mean, like I lose a day of like clubs, but I'm not too upset about that. At least we can get the data down. And we did. It took us like the entire 40 minutes of like the club period to, set everything up again and then get the data collection down. But we have the data now, and that's good. Oh, but you think that the troubles are over with once we got the data down? No, because after that, we still had to write like the lab report and compile all the data and put back the, the equation that we were supposed to get for, like distance and light brightness and all that stuff. And as it turns out, that couldn't go to plan either, because after setting up like all the stuff in Excel, remembering how Excel even works, because I like never do anything in Excel, we set up the like equation regression thing, and it returns the wrong equation. The equation doesn't work. We tried again to get the equation to work, and on like the second or third try, we finally got one that like actually matched the target equation well enough to where our teacher kind of let us off, and that's good. So we finally completed our project. What should have taken us maybe 2 days at most took around 4. And in the meantime, other assignments built up, and yeah, it wasn't ideal. You're not invisible. I hate to inform you. But what matters is that we eventually got it done at the end. It was an entire fiasco all the way through, and all I learned was that apparently the inverse square law is a thing, which is something that I already knew because I watch a ton of Vsauce. So thanks for nothing, Earth Science class. You continue to disappoint me. Hello. Nope. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Who are you? Nope, die. Bye, bye, bye. Hello, die. I'm sure that none of you guys want to hear too much about school because I talk about it quite a bit and it's very boring. But while I'm talking about things that take way longer than I ever expected them to, recently I've been going through a lot of escapades, like through the Windows settings, that have just been taking a very long time just to, you know, improve my system a little bit. And interestingly, it all started with trying to actually find out what the Windows 10 boot sound was. Some of you guys may know older Windows systems like Windows 7, Windows XP, all have had like really iconic boot sounds, especially the Windows 7 one. I love that boot sound. Please, it's like, it reminds me of like the PS2 boot sound. It's absolutely amazing. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what this boot sound was because I'm just gonna run away because I have like no armor. I couldn't figure out what this boot sound was because Windows 10 actually has it disabled by default. And while it is a pretty simple setting to change, it's like, I just had to do like a little bit of research to change it. It's literally labeled enable Windows startup and shutdown sounds. I thought that it would be pretty simple, you know, I just go over there, I toggle the setting, we'd all be good. But then I enabled it and then I rebooted my computer and no sound played still, and I was really confused. So I thought, like, why could this be the case? So I looked up an online article for how to change this thing. So that's when you know I'm really in the deep end for how to change some random Windows setting. And it linked to this like one video, and this one article, and I followed both of them. And oh my god, Jesus Christ, were these tutorials long and required that I get very intimate with a lot of different parts of the Windows settings. This process easily took, I want to say, like around an hour or two. And it required that I downloaded like an external program to change like the boot sound. And then I had to like do some scripting debauchery to change the logon sound. And the shutdown sound was like even more nonsense. It was a mess. But I got it working eventually, and now I've actually got a pretty sick suite of sound effects. Hello, Max14, the Steve skin. Are you gonna fight in a dumb way? You're a Steve player, so, you know, maybe, probably. Oh god, what am I doing? I'm just gonna get this really quickly. You didn't see me dunk lava all over myself. That didn't happen. Just gonna full heal really quickly. I can honestly pressure you like this. I have a pearl. You're gonna run away the entire time? Instead of fighting? That's fun. Oh, and if you guys are wondering if I ever actually found out what the Windows 10 boot sound was, I'm pretty sure that Windows 10 doesn't actually have a boot sound, like by itself, which is why you have to replace it to even hear it, which is a bit of a shame. But an interesting side effect of all of these, like, you know, tech guides that I took to, you know, find the deep corners of Windows settings to change if I wanted a Windows 10 boot sound was that it ended up recommending a lot of other like useful guides on how to optimize different parts of the Windows system. One of which was to actually how to optimize internet speed. And I don't, you know, I know what you guys are thinking. 9 times out of 10, these guides are really dubious. They probably don't even help at the end of the day, and or they like just mess up your setting in like some imperceptible way, like the regedit stuff. I don't even know if the regedit stuff does anything. It might. I don't know. I haven't seen any difference when I like did the whole regedit thing. And if you guys are wondering what the regedit thing was, I am so glad that you guys weren't around for when everyone was trying to optimize literally everything. And this was like around the same time that Glorious launched, and everyone was like freaking out over debounce and whether or not it was broken. Why are you TNTing everything? Why are you like this? Okay, well, you gave me a setup for a free kill because this person was staring into the abyss. Where are you? Okay. But yeah, that's what I initially thought when I actually looked at this guide. But then I actually, like, you know, I was curious. I looked into it, and they basically linked me to another external program and like a ton of random settings in the registry editor and like the registry editor and like different stuff. And it was like very technical. And at the end of the day, I think I improved my internet speed by like 10%. I'm going to link you guys the guide in the description, out of the way, because it's actually pretty useful. It made more of a difference when I was playing Valorant than when I did in like Minecraft. Like in Minecraft, my ping went from like an average of 30 to like 25. In Valorant, it went from normally 10 to like 5 to 7. So 5 to 7 ping is pretty insane, especially for a game that requires as fast reaction time as Valorant, for any of you guys have actually played it. So that's, yeah, I just feel like I should spread that. And, you know, the YouTube channel that actually did this, I checked out a few of their other guides, and they're actually pretty helpful. They're pretty comprehensive. And they actually have pretty good presentation for a tech tutorial channel, which I'm surprised about. Usually it's just some person recording on some potato mic. It sounds like they're in a 2015 COD lobby, so you know what? Maybe just if you guys are into being a tech nerd, that might help you guys. Maybe? I don't know. I can be hopeful. Place this here. Hello. Holy knockback. So yeah, that's just basically like the best way to sum up my random tech escapades in like the last 2 or 3 weeks into the Windows settings, which for some reason are very complex. I never really expected that. So yeah, then as those SkyWars guys, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Now I'm sorry that I know I just came back to content creation, but it might be a little bit while before my next upload. I've kind of got some ideas for some more like involved video ideas instead of just like basic commentary that I think might pique the algorithm a little bit more, might be a little bit more interesting. It'll still feel like my classic content, but it might take a little bit longer than usual. So yeah, if I'm like gone for a little bit longer, it's probably because I'm cooking up something or because I got exploded by school again. I don't know. Maybe this like video idea will fall through, but I think it's actually going to be pretty, you know, cool. And it's actually something that I've been thinking about for quite a while. So stay tuned for that. And if it turns out that I just do regular uploads, I hope you guys enjoy those too. I mean, I hope that this is a regular upload. If you don't enjoy it, that would be a little bit awkward. Yeah. No, I'm gone. I'm back. Okay, whatever. So yeah, every day. Bye.